But that jamboree happening right now, you see it there on your screen, in that place is particularly chilling because in 1939, more than 20,000 supporters of a different fascist leader, Adolf Hitler, packed the garden for a so-called pro-America rally. Once again, turning Madison Square Garden into a staging ground for extremism.
Guys, the Trump rally in Madison Square Garden tonight has sent the Democrats into a full-blown panic. And we know that because we can always look at their behavior. Every single time that they are saying the most ridiculous or outlandish things you ever heard, you always know it must be because Trump is doing something right. Clearly, the rally worked, or it was effective, or it was good optics, because this is what they're doing. Folks, we'll show you that here today. But first, do us a big favor. If you're enjoying the content, be sure to hit that like button down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And why should you subscribe? Because doing so goes a long way in ensuring we can keep bringing you these videos. We are almost a week away from Election Day. It has never been a better time to hit that red button down below to support our work for free, and it is greatly appreciated. Now, a few days ago, before this all happened, we did a video covering James Carville and how he went on MSNBC to unironically, like I'm not straw manning him at all whatsoever, argue that because Trump was doing a rally in Madison Square Garden, that made him a Nazi. Which, of course, you may be wondering, how does that make any sense? You're doing a political speech in a pretty famous venue in New York. I mean, that seems pretty standard. What exactly about that is fascist or whatever? Well, the argument he made is because the Nazis did a rally there back in the 1930s in that same building, this inherently means that Trump, because he's also doing a rally in that building, must make him a Nazi. To me, that seems like false equivalency, right? To me, that seems like a little jump in logic. I don't know. I don't really get that. But I kind of wrote it off at the time because I figured, okay, James Carville is an insane Trump deranged old man. He is kind of like he goes on TV sometimes, but does he really have any credibility? But I thought to myself, no serious person surely will go out and repeat that because it just sounds too stupid. I mean, everyone knows Madison Square Garden. Like, what? And then a few days later, Hillary Clinton goes on a similar network to say a very similar thing. Take a listen.
You know, one other thing that you'll see next week, Caitlin, is Trump actually reenacting the Madison Square Garden rally in 1939. I write about this in my book. President Franklin Roosevelt was appalled that neo-Nazis, fascists in America were lining up to essentially pledge their support for the kind of government that they were seeing in Germany. So I don't think we can ignore it.
Again, surely that must be the reason Trump was doing a rally in Madison Square Garden tonight. It couldn't possibly have nothing to do with the fact that Trump is from New York. You know, we're kind of just ignoring this entire fact of it. No. He randomly picked that venue, not because he's from there, not because, again, it is like the most famous, at least basketball/fight arena, arguably, in the entire United States. No. One time, some bad people did an event there, and that means that not just every Trump rally, but every New York basketball game or fights or whatever else happens there. I don't know. They probably do monster truck events there. WWE, right? It's all Nazis. All right. I don't know. Maybe they should just tear down the whole venue because clearly if you go inside the building, does that make you a Nazi? Have you been to New York? Have you seen that place? Nazi? I don't know. But of course, you could say that Hillary Clinton also is an unserious person. I mean, at this point, she's still bitter over the fact that she's not the sitting president right now. I mean, surely nobody on, say, the 2024 Democratic ticket would argue that doing a rally in Madison Square Garden makes you a fascist, right?
Donald Trump has descended into madness over the last few weeks. And I think some of you don't miss on this. Go do your Google on this. Donald Trump's got this big rally going at Madison Square Garden. There's a direct parallel to a big rally that happened in the mid-1930s at Madison Square Garden. And don't think that he doesn't know for 1 second exactly what they're doing there.
It really is just so ridiculous, because if you watch the rally tonight, what in the world are they talking about? Right. And you know, it's funny because on one hand, they always say that Trump is this like illiterate buffoon who doesn't know anything. But at the same time, he carefully thought out to himself that a fascist event that took place in the 1930s, that's the reason why Trump wanted to do Madison Square Garden. It couldn't possibly be because he likes sports, he likes UFC, he likes WWE, things like that. You know, he's historically throughout his life attended a lot of events there. It's also in his hometown. Maybe he wanted to recreate that type of energy, right? Like the genuine connection to New York he actually has. No. It couldn't possibly have been because of that. And then, like, if you listen to the rally tonight, even like the theme music that was being used throughout the night, I think, honestly, if you boil it down, despite all this talk about how Trump is some type of crazy reactionary, blah, 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 this and that, Trump is very clearly a guy who misses the 1980s and 1990s a lot. He likes the aesthetics of those time periods. He kind of has this feeling that America has lost its way since then, and he doesn't want any type of and you can just tell by the way he kind of carries himself and the things he talks about. He doesn't want any type of radical retransformation of America, make America great again. All that he wants is basically a return to the country that happened when he was sort of in the prime of his life, and that's all there is to it. But surely that can't be the reason. No. The whole thing was to reenact a certain event that happened in the 1930s. And if you think I'm making that up, no, that is exactly how the media covered this situation. Take a listen and take a look also at the banner, the headline at the bottom of what they said about tonight.
That jamboree happening right now, you see it there on your screen, in that place is particularly chilling because in 1939, more than 20,000 supporters of a different fascist leader, Adolf Hitler, packed the garden for a so-called pro-America rally. A rally where speakers voiced anti-Semitic rhetoric from a stage draped with Nazi banners. When a Jewish protester rushed the stage, the Associated Press reported, quote, instantly, a dozen or more stormtroopers set upon him, knocking him down and beating him as he held his head in his arms. Most of his clothing was torn from his body. Later, he was booked for disorderly conduct. Now, against that backdrop of history, Donald Trump, the man who has threatened to use the military against opponents he calls enemies from within, who has threatened to use the troops to quell what he says are lawless cities, and to use those troops to carry out mass deportations of immigrants, is once again turning Madison Square Garden into a staging ground for extremism.
Yeah, again, apparently if you step foot inside that building, especially for a political reason, that must make you a Nazi. Because that's logical. I mean, that's definitely how it all works. Oh, wait a minute. What's this right here? Yep, that is right. You're looking on your screen here. JFK campaigning at Madison Square Garden. Yeah, it's almost as if Madison Square Garden has been used for a lot of political rallies. Oh my gosh, we're really shattering the world right now with this revelation. Yeah, you know, the most famous building in America. I'm sure a lot of people have done speeches there, including Democrats, right? JFK, obviously a Democrat hero. But oh, wait a minute, guys, what's this? Hold on. Was JFK a Nazi? Okay, but JFK, that was the 1960s. That was a long time ago. Well, that was way more recent to the, Nazi rally that went on there. Guys, what's this right here? The 1992 Democrat National Convention on Wikipedia. Let's go down here. The convention was held at Madison Square Garden in New York City, New York from July 13th to July 16th, 1992. And by the way, what was Hillary Clinton on TV saying there in the initial clip? Again, 1992, that's when her husband, correct, was the Democrat nominee, accepting the nomination. Oh, wait a minute.
You know, one other thing that you'll see next week, Caitlin, is Trump actually reenacting the Madison Square Garden rally in 1939.
What? Guys, Guys, what's this right here? Oh my gosh. Highly ironic, right? Hillary Clinton, I presume, spoke at this freaking thing. Guys, it goes a lot deeper than that. For instance, let's look at the 1976 Democratic National Convention. Bill Clinton, obviously a Democrat president who is still alive and will be voting for Kamala Harris. You know, the other person they keep running around and celebrating, Jimmy Carter. Oh, guys, Jimmy Carter is so excited. He's staying alive to cast his vote for Kamala Harris. Okay, well, here you go. Let's take a look at this right here. The Democratic National Convention of 1976 met at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Nazis. They're all not. Look at this Nazi right here. Jimmy Carter. Can you believe this? Can you believe this? Hold on. You know what, though? I don't think he did that just once. Let's look up the 1980 Democrat National Convention. Guys, you're not going to believe this. Guess where Jimmy Carter also showed up for 1980? Madison Square Garden. The convention was held in Madison Square Garden from August 11th to August 14th, 1980. Can you guys believe this? Turns out the Democrats are a bunch of Nazis. No. That's what they said. If you hold a political event in Madison Square Garden, it must be because you are reenacting that rally of the 1930s. And by the way, what is the Democrats' excuse in that case? Because Trump can at least say, okay, but I'm from New York. That's why I'm doing a big rally in New York as my closing argument to the election. Jimmy Carter was from, Georgia, I believe, right? Bill Clinton, Arkansas, right? What are you doing in New York? Must be one reason, You're reenacting, that event. By the way, who were the speakers tonight? Well, they included Hulk Hogan, Dr. Phil, Elon Musk, right? You know, all these known Nazis, as everyone is aware of. And lastly, it should be pointed out, Jerry Wartsky was a Holocaust survivor in attendance of tonight's rally. And what did Tim Walz say? What did MSNBC say? What did Hillary Clinton say? Apparently, this Holocaust survivor showed up for a Nazi rally. I don't know. That's what they said. All right. Guys, let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section down below. I don't know what else to say. All right. They've completely lost their minds. All right. He did a rally in Madison Square Garden. He's a Nazi. Some comedian said a joke. They hate Latinos. This is just all the same crap that they keep saying. Again, there can only be one reason. When you're desperation stage in a political campaign, this is how you act, okay? You just say the most ridiculous things. You're just hoping that, throw out like the worst statements ever and hope that they will do some damage. I don't know. It is what it is. That said, let me know your thoughts. Be sure to leave a like on this video. Subscribe if you are new. And until next time, God bless and peace.